If the standard deviation of a set is 0 and mean is 8, what is the least possible value of the range of the set? All right, everybody. The answer here automatically is 0. So let's go ahead and interpret this problem the right way. So first off, what are we discussing and what are we trying to figure out? I'm looking at the problem and I see here that we're discussing a data set, its standard deviation, its mean. So we're talking about a data set. And what about this data set are we trying to find? And that is the least possible value of the range. So we want to know the lowest range of this set. Okay, so there it is. We want to know what the lowest possible range is. So lowest possible range. All right, so think about it like this. First off, what's range? Range is the difference between your highest and lowest, or greatest and least, value in your data set. That's the difference between the greatest and least. Okay. Now, when we think about this data set, is there anything that hints at how far spread out my data is? My mean is 8. That's my average, but that's not going to tell me anything about how far spread out my data is. Because if my mean is 8, my numbers could literally all be 8, or my numbers could be 7, 8, 9. The mean would still be 8. It could be a wide range of things because, again, the mean by itself will not tell you about range. The mean is a measure of central tendency. It is not a measure of dispersion. Range is dispersion. But here is the biggest key of all. The standard deviation of the set is 0. Standard deviation and range are actually very similar to each other. Very, very similar to each other. They are very similar in the sense that they both calculate dispersion, or how far spread out your data is. Range tells you how far spread out it is from least to greatest. Standard deviation tells you how far spread out it is from the mean outward. And so since the standard deviation is 0, that means that there is no spread from the mean. The data does not spread out from the mean. That means that all of the data is bunched up likely on the exact same value. So with that said, it's likely that we have a data set that's 8, 8, 8, 8, etc. And if that's the case, well, what's the range if all of your data values are 8? 0, because the highest number is 8, the lowest number is 8. So if we subtract, well, the range in this data set is 0. And that's why the answer here is 0. Because of the standard deviation, so the spread from the mean or the spread from the average, if that is 0, well, that means that your data does not spread from the mean. It is going to stay the same. So there it is. Hope this helps everybody. We'll see you in the next problem.